Okay, getting ready to take these off. Understand I took off, or I should say the starboard head. I've already taken off the bolts and I just put it back on so that nothing else fell into it. Apparently I tightened these down, so give me a second. It's gonna be that bolt. It's 4 of these. See anything in here that indicates that there's a crack in the lifter valve. So these are the water jackets. The front ones I believe are sealed off, or it's the back ones that I have to take a look at them. But we did find oil in the rear one, right? So there's a lot of water in here, and if it was leaking down through the water jacket into the valley there, don't really understand. Could be a lot of things that complicate this. So hold on. Just gonna set this aside for now. Right. So we're going to be taking out these bolts. Those are the head bolts, right? Don't know that I need to take the lifters off. And I probably need to take this bracket off. Oh, joy. So, that bracket screws into the head. That bracket screws into the head. So, alternator is being held on by that bracket. So, I'm gonna take that bracket off. And I'm probably gonna have to do the same on the other side. So, alternator, where you go. Let's go see if we can figure out how to. That's the tensioner. I remember how this works. So I'll loosen the tensioner, which is right over here. Okay, and I'll put my camera shot up there, or I'll put my camera over there so you can see it. So next thing we're gonna do is we're going to take off all these connections, positive and negative. There's only 2 of them. Apparently I disconnected that one. Who knows, right? And then I'm going to loosen the front tensioner bolt, drop that out, or loosen this belt as a result of that. Yeah, so that is probably also a 10. Let's see. It's a 10. Okay. And the wiring on this boat is like, okay, that one came off, not a big deal. That one came off. We'll put this on for posterity's sake. Actually, not posterity's sake. I'm gonna put this on so I don't lose it. This looks like this is the alternator mounting bolt. There's one up here. There appears to be another one that goes all the way through. Well, actually, there appears to be 2. So to get this out, and it's of course nice and oily. This is awesome. Okay, so got my 16mm 1/2-inch socket. I'm going to put it on that bolt down there that you probably am out of shot right now, camera shot. So I'm going to remove that. I'm also going to put the valve cover back on temporarily. not gonna worry about the gasket. I'm just trying to prevent stuff from falling into this engine anymore. She's had a tough life. Don't need my issues associated with this big boat. That's it. Just to prevent stuff from falling in. What I'm going to do now. Let me see this. And I think I need to put, that's loose, I need to loosen this thing here. Okay, let's do the same here. You turn that and it should rotate down. Why it is being a butt, but it's being a butt. Apparently that's all the way down. Okay. So I would expect this to rotate off fairly easily, but it's not as usual. Well, in there, nope, is the answer to that question. Let's see. Missing something, but you know, probably somebody bent the snot out of this. You can kind of see over here. Hopefully it's within focus. Somebody bent this whole bracket. Needs to be rotated up. While I'm in here, I might as well do that, or just find another bracket. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bend it. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's see. We now should take the time to get these off. Yeah, actually, take off the alternator. Let's get to doing that. And that's also a 16mm. Nope, of course it's not. It's a 15 or a 14. Or okay. Make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Sure looks like it. Okay. So I'm gonna move this bolt. Right. Okay, bolt out. This one, yep, I'm going to need a wrench. There's another bolt on the other end. Okay, 15mm wrench in the back. Mounting bolt in the back. So this one out. one's out. Looks like I dropped a washer down there. It's the least of my problems. Here it is. Nope, that's something else. Another bolt. It's a mystery. This is where I feel with the gloves on doesn't really work, so I'm going to pull up a bit, pull the screw out, the bolt out. Remove the nut, put the nut back on. Okay. Alternator out of the way. So, I'm going to put that bolt back where it belongs, so that when I go to reassemble everything, it's probably in a shot. I'm putting all the bolts that just came out of this thing back in them. Okay. Reason being is I don't forget what bolt goes where. Not to assume that the person who put this bolt back together put the bolts back in where they actually belong. Right? We're going to assume. Like I said, I dropped something when I was in here, some washer of some sort. I'll find it and I'm done. Okay, so alternator out. Okay, now bracket needs so probably 16 again. What do you think? Nope. Is it a 13? Let's put it in a 13. Let's go 15. Okay, I think this is going to be a 15 millimeter. Okay. That's no good. Nope, it wasn't a 15. It was a 14. Hopefully, my adjuster, hopefully I can get it off. Because I mean, it just screwed the whole damn thing up. Let's see. By rounding off that head. I just need it to come out. Okay. Okay, ready? That's out. Hopefully you're able to see all this, because otherwise I just wasted a bunch of time. Okay. Go back to this. Let's hope it's also a 13. Okay, so that makes easy work of this. Okay, bracket out. I'm gonna put these bolts back in so that I know I tell you, water pump's eventually going to come off. So, let's see, what else do we got? So, there's probably a bolt back here. There's two. So our next thing is to get, you probably can't see it, the next thing to do is remove that bracket. Just love to know how all this water got in here. Anyhow, what's the point of buying this boat, right? Let's figure out what's going on with it. So, probably just need to use the same camera angle. Get back here and take off this bolt. It's probably like this one. 15. Let's see. And it's kind of cramped back here, so maybe it's time to get the exhaust out of the way. I don't know. If I have to pull the block, it's going to have to, you know, be clearly unbolted from this thing. But to remove the block, the outdrive needs to come out, and it needs to be detached from this piece back here. That's in a car engine, that would be like the bell housing. It has something very, very similar. Might even be a bell housing. But point is if it's just one of these bad heads, I reached a decision point. Do I replace the head and assume that the bottom end stayed okay? Or do I just take the whole bloody motor out and say, you know, it's time to go through the whole engine? The thing about rebuilding an engine like this, it's cheaper just to buy a brand new block than to screw around with this thing, right? I can get a short block, or I can get a long block. It's going to be dependent on what the condition of the heads are. Like I said, there's a bunch of rust in there. And the thing is, if I pull off this head, if I pull off this starboard head, then what I'm left with to pull this motor out is I have to, if I find out it's not the head, I then have to go put the intake manifold back on because I need a way to pull this engine out. And the lifting hooks for this engine are that bracket and the intake manifold over here. I might be able to put a bolt through something and lift it all up, put the bracket on, but you'll notice that that attaches to the head. So some of this work is going to be redundant at this point. This is good progress as far. This is good progress so far. What is a little bit disappointing, and it's not really disappointing, right? So if we had a crack in the lifter valley, right, which is, you know, this area right in here, right, you'll notice that the rust is confined to the top of this block. This is the bolt that I pulled out that had the water, or had the oil and the water in it, right? Or maybe it was this one. What that means is there could be a crack in here, and it's dumping water down into that, into the engine, right? There's 5 gallons of water in here, so it ingested 5 gallons of water and oil. It ingested a lot of stuff into this motor. Things that tend to go bad when you have that much water in your motor are bearings, right? But what is a good sign is I don't really see a lot of it up here. And in fact, the color up here, you know, this is chocolate, this, or milkshake as they call it. But, you know, I don't see any rust in here, right? I do see rust towards the back of this, but I don't see a crack in here at all. So I'm gonna stop for a moment. I'm gonna go try to find my tools to go pull this off. Okay, so I'm trying to remove this loom because it goes in front of this bracket. Hopefully you can see the bracket. It's that bracket right there. Okay, so this looks like the battery positive cable, the positive battery cable. It's huge. It's a starter and the solenoid associated with it. So I'm gonna start moving that. So 14, I'm gonna remove it. So moving the 14 millimeter. That's pretty nasty if you think about it, right? So, you probably need to re-terminate this, but it's still flexible. So, let's see. And I'm kind of working on a cramped area here, so I'm going to kind of move this way, right? So you should be able to see what I'm doing here. So taking that off, allows me to take that off, right? And then I think I got just one more to take off at that point. Looks like a starter solenoid. Thank God I don't have to play with all the rest of the wires. Okay, so I need to take that off. There. The small one, right? Not the large one that goes to the starter. The starter looks like it's new too, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, good guess. I'm gonna take my 1/4 inch socket and we'll pull this one off. Okay, off you go. Come on. Gotta put the bolt back on. Okay. What that allows us to do at this point Now I can rotate control. Just back up and, so all I was trying to do is make it wiring out of my way, right? Now, the last plug wire. Probably didn't see that. Okay. Now we're going to focus on moving this bracket, which is right there. Okay. So give me a second. I'm going to reposition stuff and I'll be back. Okay. So there's a bolt here, from what I can tell. There's 2 bolts, right? Now, to be honest with you, probably don't need to worry about them because it looks like it only affects the head here. But, you know, probably help me pull the head off at this point. Yeah, who knows? So what I may actually do is just attempt to pull up the head, because that bracket does not look like it attaches to anything but the head. Okay, so that's a good thing. What I did have to do with the wiring is all necessary because it was running, I think, in front of the head at this point. So that did have to get removed. So give me a second and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to remove these. This is the Corsa exhaust, so it's about these band clamps, right? This is the starboard side. Only reason being is I need to do some work on this, and it's going to give me better clearance. Now, the question is how easily is this going to come off? Why not? And it looks pretty stuck. Okay. So I'm going to slide the bands that way. I think that side's going to be a lot more of a pain in the butt. I've loosened the clamps. It's not coming out easily. We may just wait. Okay, so I think this is going to be a wrap for today. I'll come back tomorrow and we will start to remove this head.